Jesus never moved a real mountain in the Bible. So why did he say you could tell a mountain to move? Jesus said, faith moves impossible. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 17, verses 14 through 20, and we'll be reading today from the New Living Translation. At the foot of the mountain, a large crowd was waiting for them. A man came and knelt before Jesus and said, "Lord, have mercy on my son. He has seizures and suffers terribly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. So I brought him to your disciples, but they couldn't heal him." Jesus said, "You faithless and corrupt people, how long must I put up with you? How long must I put up with you?" And I'm not sure why that's there twice, but anyway, bring the boy to me. And then verse 18, then Jesus rebuked the demon in the boy, and it left him. From that moment, the boy was well. Afterward, the disciples asked Jesus privately, "Why couldn't we cast out that demon?" "You don't have enough faith," Jesus told them. "I tell you the truth, if you had faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it would move. Nothing would be impossible." Now, Jesus is using an extreme contrast here to make a point about faith. And the timeline, this is right after the Transfiguration, where Jesus went up on a mountain and he started glowing, and there was Moses and Elijah there. And so the disciples knew about this. Some of them had seen this. He had just walked on water. He had fed thousands. He had raised the dead. And long before this, he had given the disciples authority to cast out demons. In Matthew 10, Jesus had called his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits so that they could cast out and heal every kind of disease and sickness. But the disciples didn't get it. And Jesus is using this analogy about a mountain, but with all of the miraculous things that he did, he never moved a mountain. Well, why is he using this? Well, I think that he's making the point that faith isn't like controlling God like a genie in a bottle. It's not about us being in control, but faith is realizing God is in control. Faith is about relationship and trust, not the results. Now, Jesus got pretty frustrated with the disciples, and with good reason, because they already had what they needed, and he had told them what to expect. And they didn't follow his example. They didn't have enough faith. And in the same way, we need to understand that what Jesus did was not his own thing. It was what the Father was doing. We don't need to do our own thing. Faith moving impossible doesn't mean that we get whatever we want. In fact, let's look at John 5:19 and 20, where Jesus explained, "I tell you the truth, the Son can do nothing by himself. He does only what he sees the Father doing. Whatever the Father does, the Son also does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him everything he is doing. In fact, the Father will show him how to do even greater works than healing this man. Then you will be truly astonished." Now, faith isn't just a wish. It's action. It's action as we partner with God in what he is doing. Unfortunately, the disciples believed more in their own weakness and humanity than in the power and position they had already been given. And don't we do that same thing when we don't take God at his word? You see, you don't need giant-sized faith. Even the tiniest amount is enough, because you don't have to be enough. God already is more than enough. It's not you trying to fill up what's lacking in our faith, but faith is the confidence beyond the circumstances by taking God at his word and acting on it. 1 John 5:14 through 15. It says, and we are confident that he hears us whenever we ask for anything that pleases him. And since we know he hears us when we make our request, we also know that he will give us what we ask for. You see, faith doesn't rely on anything other than God's promises. And a little dab will do more than dynamite. Even what's impossible, even what seems impossible, even mountains will move. Because Jesus said, faith moves impossible. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it means a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. Good morning, Sarah. I really appreciate all the support, and I hope that you have an amazing day. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.